Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? Well, no, actually I know what's been going on. Probably a whole lot of Netflix and chill. We're all in the same boat. So let me start this video by just saying that I hope that you, my trusty viewer, are well. I hope all your families are well. And I hope that whatever hardships you're enduring because of this global pandemic situation are resolved swiftly and normal life resumes for you and we all get to go diving. Me, myself, I've been self-isolating because it's the responsible thing to do, but also because I couldn't go diving if I wanted to. All my local dive operators have closed down, and you know, my thoughts are with all the small businesses around the world, diving or otherwise, that are affected by this global health crisis. Just because I haven't been diving though, doesn't mean I haven't been busy. Welcome to Divers Ready, ladies and gentlemen. My name's James. It is so great to see all of your smiling faces. If you're new to this channel, make your next dive on our subscribe button. Click that little bell icon and that way you'll never miss any of our awesome content. I make videos with one simple goal in mind, and that's to help make you a better diver. If you make your next dive on that subscribe button, you're really helping us out to build this channel, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Yeah, tough times all round. I mean, it's hard to make money in the scuba diving business. Your margins are very tight, and then something like this comes along and just hits you for six. And, you know, my heart goes out to all the local dive shops, all the small businesses that are suffering under the current economic conditions caused by this very serious health threat. Tough times indeed. On a personal note, as you know, I'm an independent instructor. All of my teaching activities have been suspended and I don't know when they're going to be resumed. My students have been most patient with me in obviously understanding the situation. I want to say thank you to all of you guys for your understanding. I think I'm going to have a very busy summer because all of my spring students are backing up, and then I've got people that have already booked with me for the summer. So hopefully everything will be resolved by then and we'll all be back to normal. And to that end, I say, bring it on. But even though I haven't been teaching, I've been keeping busy with a myriad of other diving related activities, and I just thought I'd share them with you in case it helps stave off the boredom of quarantine. Also, fun side note here, did you happen to know that quarantine is a maritime word? It comes from the Italian quante giorni, which means 40 days, because back in the 14th century, the city-state of Venice would make ships stay at anchor for 40 days before they were allowed to land any of their crew or goods ashore, for fear that they would bring the plague into the city, hence the word quarantine. So what have I been up to? Well, this Friday, April the 3rd, we are going to do our first YouTube live session. That means I'm going to be sitting right here, uncolor graded, raw, unedited, taking your scuba diving questions, because why the hell not? What else have we got to do? So in the description of this video below, I've put a calendar reminder. You can click on that and add the event to your calendar, and that way you won't miss it. 1 p.m. Eastern time on the 3rd of April, this coming Friday. Also this past week, I've got my regs serviced. How did you manage that? I thought all the dive shops were closed, James. Well, it's funny you should mention that. Yes, a lot of the dive shops in my local area are closed for retail and for the charter boat operations, but I found out that the service department was still open. I had a bunch of regs that needed to be done, so I boxed them up. I slapped a UPS label on them, and I arranged for a pickup and shipped them out to be serviced. It was just one of those ways, besides it being convenient for me to get them serviced at this time when there's no diving going on, that I could support our local dive shop and give them some business during this sort of hard time. But James, you're a gearhead. Surely you service your own regulators. Well, yes, I am a gearhead, and yes, I am capable and qualified to service many different types of regulators. But the actual regulator that I prefer to dive, I'm not a certified service technician on. Now, I wouldn't mind if they were just my regulators, but I also rent regulators out to my students. And if I was to ever have a problem and then those regs were serviced by me and I'm not a certified technician, that could get tricky. So I prefer to have my regs serviced by an authorized technician. And I'm very lucky that I've got a guy here that I trust to service my regs for me. His name is James Baldwin. His company is Smart Fills. He's up in Boynton Beach in just a little bit north of us in Florida. And I will link to his dive center in the description of this video below. And thanks for your awesome work, James. Another thing I did in this past week was I checked my Saver Dive box. You remember one of the very earlier videos we made on this channel was about putting a Saver Dive kit together. Well, it's about time every year where I like to go through and make sure that I replenish any items that I've used. I found that I'd actually gone through quite a lot of O-rings because I always seem to be the guy on the boat giving O-rings out to everyone that needs them. And I was missing quite a few of the core common sizes. So replenish the stock on that. And it's just a good time for you guys to go out there. Maybe you don't dive as frequently as I am, and just check your wear and tear items. Have a look at your mast strap. Does that need replacing? Have a look at your fin straps. You know, these sort of things where you should replace them before they break rather than wait for them to break 5 seconds before you jump into the water. And that way, when we're allowed to go diving again, we can. One of my favorite things to do is plan dive trips. The anticipation, the excitement of it all. Remember, this too shall pass. This is not forever. Normal life will resume, and I've been thinking a lot about my scuba diving bucket list and how to tick off different events. We've still got Bonaire coming up in October. That trip is still going ahead. If you're interested, link in the description below. We still have a couple of spaces available. And then I've been planning ahead already for 2021. If you remember in the first video of this year, I talked about my resolutions, and one of them was to get to the Great Lakes this summer. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen, so that's been pushed to 2021. And then also I want to put together a group trip for Truck Lagoon and Palau in 2021. So I've been gathering information about that and putting the brochure together, and there'll be more news on that one hitting this channel very shortly. One of the unexpected positives to come out of this pandemic is that flights are cheaper than I've ever seen them before. My wife and I have just booked our tickets back to Europe to visit family over the summer, and we've never paid such a low price for round-trip flights from North America to Europe. So if you're thinking about taking a trip, now might be the time to actually pull the trigger on the flights at least and make a booking. I would just recommend travel insurance. What else has been going on? Well, I've been taking courses. Yep. You heard it here, absolutely. With all this downtime, it's a great time to brush up on your education. If you think back to the collaboration video I made with Brian, I asked him what was his single biggest piece of advice that he gives as an instructor trainer to newly qualified instructors, and he said,
never stop learning.
And that's what I've been doing. I've taken a couple of courses. I'm not going to talk too much about the details yet because I'm going to save that for other videos. But I'm working on myself and I'm working to improve, and with the wonders of e-learning, there's no reason you can't too. And I've not just been reading for the sakes of education, but also for recreation. I've got a couple of book recommendations if you've got some time on your hands. I very much recently enjoyed The World Beneath by Dr. Richard Smith. It's kind of a globe-trotting photojournal display of the world's tropical reef systems, and then he's got a running commentary about his adventures to get shots and where he's been around the world. It was a fantastic book to read. I also very much enjoyed James Nestor's The Deep. I'm not much of a free diver. I don't care for the discipline myself, but he made the sport really exciting and really exhilarating with his accounts of free diving in the name of science. So both of those books I will link in the description of this video below. They will be affiliate links if you feel like supporting this channel. Check them out. And in addition to that, I've not just been self-isolating at home, but I've also been self-isolating in the Dream Dive Locker. Yes, that's right. I know that I owe you guys an update on the progress that we've been making, but we had a whole bunch of diving cancelled in February because of bad weather, and then the pandemic hit and we had a whole bunch more diving cancelled. And I've been chipping away at the dive locker, and it looks very different from the last time you guys saw it. So I do promise you there will be a in progress or an update kind of Dream Dive Locker video coming to this channel very shortly. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so already. It really does mean the world to us, and it helps us keep making these videos. And let me know in the comments below what topics you would like to talk about on our live chat on April 3rd at 1 PM Eastern Time. You know how it works by now. Just over here, I'll put, I don't know, a Bonaire trailer. That seems like a good video. And below that, I'll let YouTube pick one for you. My name's James. This was your Divers Ready Mouthpiece Monday for this week. Dive safe and dive as soon as you can, guys. It's tough. Okay, bye.